David Mitchell.
Hello and welcome to The Unbelievable Truth, the panel game with more liars than an episode of University Challenge. It's the show that's all about questions of true and false. For example, does Shane McGowan have terrible teeth? True. What kind of teeth should he get? False. You get the idea. Here to distort the facts even more than a DAB radio are our four panellists, Chris Addison, Clive Anderson, Lucy Porter and Graham Garden. The game is a neat blend of pure simplicity and unnecessary complication. Each of the panel will present a short lecture on a given subject that should be entirely made up, save for 5 pieces of true information which the panellist should attempt to smuggle past his opponents. Points are scored by truths which go unnoticed, while other panellists can win points if they spot a truth, or lose points if they mistake a truth for a lie. We'll start with Graham Garden. Graham, of course, was one of the goodies, who enjoyed a brief pop career in the 70s. Interestingly, it was after Graham appeared on Top of the Pops singing The Funky Gibbon that the idea of getting artists to mime on the show really took off. Graham, your subject is the bicycle, defined by my dictionary as a vehicle composed of 2 wheels held in a frame, one behind the other, propelled by pedals and steered with handlebars attached to the front wheel. Off you go, Graham. Fingers on buzzers, the rest of you.
The bicycle was first developed by the Spanish Inquisition, and it was much in use as an instrument of torture, until the invention of the bicycle saddle. The longest bicycle in the world comfortably seats 6 riders and another 34 uncomfortably.
Lucy?
I think the longest bicycle in the world is a 6-seater.
Well, you've buzzed for a truth, but in fact the longest bicycle in the world seats 6 riders and 34 riders, seats 40 riders.
Was this for the Italian version of the goodies?
Yeah.
Eat the bennies.
In 1888, Scotland Yard detectives believed that Jack the Ripper was only able to make his swift and silent getaways by means of a bicycle.
Clive?
That must be true because they believed everything about Jack the Ripper. They thought it was Disraeli, they thought it was a member of the royal family, they thought he was known to the people, he didn't know the people, they think his name was made up. They must have at some point believed that he was getting away on a bicycle.
At some point they probably thought he was a bicycle.
Yes.
I don't think it would have suited their view of a serial killer, someone cycling off afterwards. It's too vicar-like. Ringing his bell.
I am prepared to argue this point until the cows come home. There must have been a detective, or more than one detective, who thought that Jack the Ripper got away on a bicycle.
Well, he never shared it with anyone else, because he thought it would present too much of a positive image of the jolly serial killer merrily cycling away from his latest sliced-up project.
I used to be a criminal barrister myself, and I seem to remember, it was a while ago now, there was a lot of talk of this amongst some of the older officers. We never got that Jack the Ripper, but I think it's because he got away on his bicycle. I now remember somebody saying, and another one agreeing, yes, we thought that as well in P Division. Yes, no, I can... Trust me, I'm a lawyer.
No. then they'd have called him Jack the Cyclist, wouldn't they?
No, I don't care if you pretend you remember it. It's not true. And indeed, as a technique, it's threatening to this game if you're going to keep saying, no, I remember it, actually. That is true. I remember someone who knew about it saying. I happened to be there in my capacity as a lawyer.
For this, or for a very similar reason, a law was brought in that year and remained in force until 1930 that every cyclist in Britain had to ring the bell on his bicycle non-stop while the machine was in motion.
Lucy?
Was there a law that you had to ring your bell constantly?
Don't be silly.
You're thinking of ice cream vans.
Is that a safety thing with ice cream vans? It's to warn people off obesity. We play the warning jingle. The stupid fat people still queue up. But no, Lucy, you're absolutely right. There was a law that until 1930, every cyclist was supposed to ring his bicycle bell constantly while cycling.
It rings a bell now you mentioned it.
Yeah.
Oh, come on!
People don't like properly constructed jokes anymore, do they?
They do, actually. Carrying lights on a bicycle after dark only became compulsory during World War II, when the government hoped to lure enemy bombers away from the blacked-out cities to target rural cyclists. Count Leo Tolstoy, author of War and Peace, was asked what he wanted for his
Yes,
Clive.
Count Leo Tolstoy was the author of War and Peace.
That's a parenthesis.
I don't think that Graham was asserting that in his lecture. but
Well,
just sort of-
he
was
accidentally stumbled upon a truth then, didn't
just-
he?
I think he was just contextualising Leo Tolstoy.
Oh,
and
I
actually,
see.
in the way he pronounced it,
Yes.
he sort of got away with it anyway, because he said author of War, and as if he'd written two books, one called War and one called Peace.
Yes.
Which he didn't. If it was sort of a book and a sequel, it's the wrong way round. He starts with the interesting one. I finished War, it was great. I don't want to read Peace. What's going to happen? Nothing. Clearing up. Anyway, I'm afraid I can't give you a point for saying that, because I don't think Graham was saying that Leo Tolstoy was the author of War and Peace.
Well, apart from using those words, no, that's true.
When Leo Tolstoy was asked what he wanted for his 67th birthday, unfortunately his reply got mixed up with his grandson's Christmas list for St. Nicholas. And as a result, his grandson received the freedom of the city of St. Petersburg, while Tolstoy was given a bicycle. Queen Victoria was an ardent cyclist, whizzing around Windsor Great Park at every opportunity, always followed by her faithful gilly, John Brown, on his pogo stick. And it wasn't until she took a tumble in 1877 that it was discovered that she had two athletic page boys pedalling away under her voluminous crinoline. In Canada, the Conservatives are known as the Bears, and the New Democrats are known as the Rhinoceros Party. And at one time, the Rhinoceros Party proposed to bulldoze...
Chris.
Deviation. I'm not sure I've got this game exactly right, but surely.
That's just playing a different game.
OK, I can only apologise.
Yeah.
At one time, the Rhinoceros Party proposed to bulldoze the Rocky Mountains and use the rock to build downhill cycle paths from coast to coast. Now, because of its unusual knees, the camel is the only animal that is not theoretically able to ride a bike.
Clive.
No, I wish I hadn't buzzed. I was buzzing to say that's absolute rubbish, because there must be species
chihuahua.
of fish that can't ride a bike. And
If you are buzzing for lies,
yes,
you've missed a few.
I know.
That's the end of Graham's lecture. Thank you, Graham. And in that round, Graham, you managed to smuggle two truths past the rest of the panel, and they are that Count Leo Tolstoy, author of War and Peace, was given a bicycle for his 67th birthday by the Moscow Society of Velocipede Lovers.
Unfortunately, people who like velocipedes are called velocipedophiles, and they...
There have been some tragic mistakes that have been made by baying mobs. And the other truth is that in Canada, at one time, the Rhinoceros Party proposed to bulldoze the Rocky Mountains and use the rock to build downhill cycle paths from coast to coast.
No.
I think we probably should say that the Rhinoceros Party is, by way of being a sort of joke party in Canada, a bit like the Monster Raving Loony Party and other hilarious political organisations. Because among their other policies was painting Canada's coastal limits so that Canadian fish would know where they were at all times, providing more higher education by building taller schools, and repealing the law of gravity. So, that's... And it's appropriate in a panel show like this, but obviously in a political forum it's just wasting everyone's time. But, OK, we turn now to Chris Addison. Your subject, Chris, is Albert Einstein, a German-born theoretical physicist best known for his theory of relativity, expressed by the equation E=mc². Fingers on buzzers, everyone else. Off you go, Chris.
Albert Keith Einstein was born to Dave and Shazza Einstein in 1874 in the town of La Châtellerault, in what is now known as the former West Germany, but was then known as the future West Germany. He was an unpromising youth and physically rather weak. The right side of his body grew at a slightly slower rate than the left, giving the impression that he was standing at an angle until late adolescence.
Graham.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think he was slightly skewed as a child.
No, he wasn't.
Well, you say that. I mean...
Unless Clive can remember some policeman round the Old Bailey saying, I remember that Einstein came in here and he was all skewed. I'm afraid I don't think that's true.
Oh.
He also suffered from a lazy tongue, which would stick out at inappropriate moments, such as when he was having his photograph taken. And until the age of 9, he couldn't even speak properly except when uttering the words fluffering thuckatash, which are supposed to be pronounced like that.
Lucy?
I think he couldn't speak properly till he was 9.
Yes, you're
That is
right.
correct.
You're absolutely right. He was a late developer in terms of speech. And the modern term for people whose speech development is delayed is Einstein syndrome, which is sort of quite kind, really, because it's sort of saying, might be a little Einstein. Can't speak yet, might be an Einstein. Probably won't.
Chris Moyle's still suffering to this
Sorry?
day. It's Radio 4 audience, well done.
Yeah, they never heard him, but they know they're not supposed to like it. Following his success with the whole E equals Mc2 thing... I don't really know about physics. Einstein found himself Great.
Yes.
Yeah, he doesn't really know about physics.
I was contextualising. That was in context.
On your bike.
Einstein found himself a reluctant dweller in the world of academia. He would do anything to avoid work, often delegating it inappropriately. His housekeeper regularly did his marking for him. On at least one occasion, his driver delivered a lecture on his behalf. And when pressed to do some actual proper work, Einstein would often run seminars from his bed. This would occasionally end in disaster if one of his students leant on the lever which tipped the bed forward, sliding him through a trapdoor into a pair of trousers and down onto a kitchen chair below, a system which had been rigged up by his dog, Gromit. Einstein preferred tinkering away at his inventions in his workshop, patenting, amongst other things, a heated towel rail, a refrigerator, a deluxe gardening set, a cuddly toy, and 2 weeks' bed and board in Magaluf.
Clive?
One of those must be true. I'm going for the refrigerator. I reckon he's patented a refrigerator.
You're absolutely right.
Oh.
Well done.
Einstein also invented the Toblerone. However, he was happy to be famous, and wherever he went in the world, Einstein insisted on living no more than 50 yards from an electricity substation, as the static made it easy to maintain his trademark crazy hair. Einstein was married 4 times, though he was careful to sign a prenuptial agreement on the last 3 occasions after the divorce settlement with his first wife entitled her to half of any royalties he might accrue, including his Toblerone income, any Nobel Prize money he might get, and all the Chris Christopherson albums. Einstein was always wary of being portrayed as a freak, and in his will stipulated that he did not want his brain to be placed on display in a jar following his death. His wish was granted. Einstein's brain spent several years in a Tupperware box.
Clive?
I think he must have said something about not wanting his brain to be put on display. Oh, no.
No, that's not true.
No, OK.
Graham, you've buzzed.
I think his brain was kept in a Tupperware box, though.
Yes, that is absolutely true.
Well, of all the things that should be true...
Yes, his brain was...
That was a Tupperware party that got way out of hand.
His brain was, in fact, stolen at his autopsy by someone, and then that person then kept it in a Tupperware box for many years. Oh. Thank you very much, Chris. And, Chris, you managed also to smuggle 2 truths past the rest of the panel, which are that on at least one occasion, Einstein's driver delivered a lecture on his behalf. And the other truth is that in his divorce settlement with his first wife, there was a clause about entitling her to half the Nobel Prize money he might get.
All of it, I think. She got
All of it?
Yeah.
Yes, you're quite right. I'm not reading.
He got the little token.
But when it came to it, when he did win the Nobel Prize, he didn't give her the money. And she always felt betrayed. And, well, she might. So.
It's a common complaint, isn't it, that women have, that their men often don't give them the Nobel Prize money they've been promised.
I wouldn't be sitting here today, Chris.
Yes.
Yeah.
Twice that's happened to you, hasn't it?
Yeah,
Ruth?
yeah.
Medicine and world peace, I think, weren't they?
Einstein did indeed leave his brain to science. For years it was kept in a large sealed Tupperware box. Scientists studying it were amazed by the brain's uncanny ability to stop all their papers blowing about the lab when the door opened. Right, it's now the turn of Clive Anderson. Clive is currently host of the Radio 2 show Clive Anderson's Chat Room, which he presents while pretending to be an 18-year-old Swedish nymphomaniac. Your subject, Clive, is money, generally taken to refer to coins or banknotes used as payment for goods and services or the repayment of debts. Fingers on buzz, the rest of you. Off you go, Clive.
Money, of course, gets its name from the money spider, the species of gold-coloured arachnid the Druids used as legal tender to facilitate the international trade routes of ancient times, or the World Wide Web, as they called it. Everything from pencils to pomegranates have been used as currency at some time somewhere in the world.
Lucy.
Both pencils and pomegranates have been used as currency.
No, they haven't.
I don't know if I said it with enough authority.
What was a pomegranate worth? How many pencils?
Do you think it was the same society?
Yeah. I reckon you get change in pencils. Yeah. The pomegranate will probably be the major unit of currency, and the sub-units will be made of stationery.
Yeah. It's very... I'd say it would be a strange society where they're still using pomegranates as currency, but they can manufacture pencils. Carry on.
For example, instead of real money, the Aztecs used cocoa beans or gold blend if they had an instant access account.
Graham.
I just wanted to spoil his punchline.
He did that rather well, I think.
The Aztecs used cocoa beans. Well-known fact.
They did, absolutely. Although I wouldn't say it was a well-known fact. But yes. 100 cocoa beans could buy you a slave, 4 cocoa beans a rabbit, and 10 cocoa beans the services of a prostitute. Yeah.
In Siberia, in the 19th century, solid blocks of tea were used in place of...
Chris?
That's true.
Yes, that is true. Well done.
While in the French-speaking part of Canada, playing cards were pressed into service in place of banknotes for the best part of 100 years. Potatoes, of course, were used as currency on the island of Tristan da Cunha until the Second World War, hence the term cashing your chips, as were...
Lucy.
What the hell? I liked pomegranates. I like potatoes even better.
Yeah.
That's not a good way of playing this game. Just buzzing for words that you have positive associations
No,
with.
things I would use as currency.
Yeah, yes, but I mean, I'm just saying, just as policy, I don't think that's good. But also, it has, in this case, worked. Because... yes, potatoes were used as currency on that island. And in 1946, the first stamps on the island still bore a value in potatoes. Can you guess how many potatoes a stamp was?
First class or second class?
Depends on... Yes, it was the same number of potatoes, but, you know, first class was Maris Piper. Second class was King Edward.
But they all had a picture of King Edward's on them. That's the...
It's a cruel world, isn't it?
Oh, I'm used to it. Shall I carry on?
Yes, do.
Potatoes, cashing your chips, as were dog's teeth on the Solomon Islands. Money only came to England with the Romans. At first, the ancient Britons couldn't see how for paying for goods and things with small round coins was any more convenient or any different from just swapping the goods and things directly. I can't believe it's not barter, they used to say. To this day, krona margarine is legal tender in Greenland.
Thank you, Clive. And at the end of that round, Clive, you also have managed to smuggle 2 truths past everyone else. And they are that in the French-speaking part of Canada, playing cards were pressed into service in the place of banknotes for the best part of 100 years. And the other truth being that the dog's teeth were used as currency on the Solomon Islands. It would take a lot of restraint not to look forward to the death of your dog in that culture. We'll be all right when the dog dies.
Just feed him a sweet, you know. Don't be cruel.
You don't want the teeth to rot.
Oh, you think that devalues him?
You've got to look after the dog's teeth.
Oh, yes.
Well, you could make the dog false teeth. That would be kind. That would be the kind way to do it.
That's forgery.
Yeah.
You get banged up for that, love.
The Yap Islanders in the South Pacific use 18-foot-high stone rings as money, each weighing up to 15 tons. This has led to suggestions that Stonehenge is actually just some loose change that fell down the back of an enormous Stone Age sofa.
But how did that work if the currency was that big? I mean, did people roll it home? Or...
Yeah. I think the money just stays where it is and the people circulate. It would be hard to lose 50 billion 3-ton stone rings, wouldn't it?
Yes, but I think...
You would know where it was.
I have to say, I think among our banking community, we have people incompetent enough even to do that. Right, now it's the turn of Lucy Porter. Your subject, Lucy, is penguins, the large flightless seabirds of the southern hemisphere with black upperparts and white underparts and wings developed into flippers for swimming underwater. Off you go, Lucy.
Even though they have a popular biscuit named after them, penguins are allergic to chocolate because of the tryptophan it contains. Happily, they are able to eat some sweet foods and can enjoy Arctic roll, Fox's glacier mints and ice magic.
Strictly speaking, obviously, for penguins, it would have to be Antarctic roll. Puffins can have Arctic roll. Or polar bears. Polar bears can have Arctic roll.
No one knows for sure where the penguin got its name, but it has been suggested that it comes from the Welsh pen, meaning head, and gwyn, meaning white. Alternatively, the name may derive from Portuguese, where pingoon translates as distant nun. Boys prefer the emperor penguin because it's butch, whereas girls tend to like the Gentoo penguin because it has pink poo.
Pink poo.
You're right, with the pink poo, yeah.
She was going somewhere with it.
Brilliant.
You see, it's just that Chris has known me for many years and he knows that if there was a fact involving poo, I would include it.
I was waiting for the first poo thing to come up. There it is. Buzz. Bang. 1 point.
Don't do sort of, self-congratulatory analysis on your own game.
And this was
Sort of going, bang, 1 point, in the back of the net.
Yeah.
There I go, yes. You can play this back to yourself at home. Yep, here I'm coming. I'm going to spot the pink poo. Buzz, got it. Bang, a point. But yes, well done. Now, the Gentoo penguin has pink poo because of all the krill it eats. Lucy, carry on.
Okay. In real life, there is no need to pick up a penguin because they can jump as high as 6 feet in the air. In order to make them do this, you need to give them a really big surprise.
Graham, you buzz.
I think they can jump 6 feet in the air from water.
They can. I'm just going to ask Lucy a question that's not part of the programme.
Oh, right. Shall we all leave the room while you do
Yes, please.
Yes, I will. I've always wanted you to ask me.
Have you missed a bit?
Yes, I have. I was just going to go back and
You're
do it.
going to do that. You've asked her, you're going to go back and do it. That's fine. Right. So that was it, everyone. Sorry.
That wasn't the question I was hoping for, but I'll try not to.
Well, I mean, a lot of people think I'm going to be more romantic than I actually turn out to be.
Yeah, if the most romantic thing you've ever said to a girl is, have you missed a bit?
Yeah.
I'll go back and
You
do
have
it.
one slightly red, actually, David.
Yeah,
I've spoken some truth.
yeah. All the terrible, terrible memories. Carry on.
Okay.
I may not say anything for a while.
Although some Christians have claimed that March of the Penguins illustrated that the birds are monogamous and virtuous like little waddling Aled Joneses, in reality, they could actually give tip to wags because female penguins in Antarctica have been observed selling sexual favours in exchange for rocks. Mm-hmm.
Graham.
Yeah, I think lady penguins do put out for rocks.
Yes, you're absolutely right, they do. Yeah.
They put out for rocks.
A male penguin comes up with a rock.
Yes.
And gives it to the lady penguin.
In every sense
then
of the word.
Then gives her the rock. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
This sounds like you're explaining the facts of life to a 5-year-old, doesn't it? It's really sweet.
And what do they do with the rock?
I'm taking it all down.
That's what the lady penguin says. But what do they do with the rocks once they've got a rock? What can you do with a rock? Do they use it for money?
They exchange it for pomegranates,
Yes.
I guess. I don't know.
What they do is they use them to build their nests with, Clive. They need certain sorts of rocks.
So if they need like 50
rocks.
rocks, they need to
don't know
work
how
their
many.
way through the penguin.
I don't know. It depends how much of a dream home they want for the little penguinettes. And penguins are otherwise monogamous. So it's quite a problem for penguin society, all the prostitution caused by the scarcity of nest-building rocks.
How can you tell they're monogamous? Because let's face it, one penguin looks pretty much like another one.
That is so racist.
Speciesist, possibly.
Yeah. Carry on, Lucy.
Okay. Like me, penguins enjoy homes under the hammer and cash in the attic, but tend to nod off during diagnosis murder because they sleep more deeply in the afternoons than in the morning. The television series Pingu has been banned in North Korea because Kim Jong-il is scared of nuns. P.T. Barnum bought 2 penguins for his circus and imported them from the Falkland Isles, but upon arrival in North America, they perished within 3 days. The enterprising Barnum had already advertised his penguin attraction and so paid 2 dwarves to wear penguin suits. The people of Texas were fooled, but when the circus reached California, the sham was exposed.
I think
Chris.
Barnum did that. I don't think the people of Texas were fooled, but I think Barnum did that.
No, he didn't. No, sorry.
Prove it.
That is another weakness of the format. I have very little capacity to prove things.
Right, there should be some sort of game show appeal court where, after it's gone out, factual errors can be... Actually, that's what Anti-University Challenge
exactly.
is. Yeah, I think of it.
There should be some system whereby, after a perfectly good-willed contest on the television that people have enjoyed, the press then rake over the details of it in an incredibly tedious way, and then the BBC surrenders again.
I mean, the BBC should be pleased to show off a graduate getting a job.
That's the end of Lucy's bit. Thank you, Lucy. And at the end of that round, Lucy, you also smuggled 2 truths past everyone else, which are that no one knows for sure where the penguin got its name, but it has been suggested that it's from the Welsh pen, meaning head, and gwyn, meaning white. That's in the OED. And the other truth being that penguins sleep more deeply in the afternoons than in the morning. And the reason we know this is because a French researcher in 2002 counted how many prods with a stick were necessary to wake penguins at different times of day. Penguins marry for life and have sex once a year, so they live just like married humans, except with more sex. Which brings us to the final scores. In 4th place, with 0 points, we have Clive Anderson. In 3rd place, with 1 point, it's Chris Addison. In 2nd place, with 3 points, it's Graham Garden. But in 1st place, with an unassailable 4 points, is this week's winner, Lucy Porter. And that's about it for this week. All that remains is for me to thank our guests. They were all truly unbelievable, and that's the unbelievable truth. Goodbye.
Please welcome David Mitchell.
Hello and welcome to The Unbelievable Truth, the panel show about incredible truths and barely credible lies. Our 4 comedians this week are all blessed with the ability to laugh at themselves. Well, it's a start. Please welcome David O'Doherty, Susan Calman, John Richardson and Arthur Smith. The rules are as follows. Each panellist will present a short lecture that should be entirely false, save for 5 pieces of true information which they should attempt to smuggle past their opponents, cunningly concealed amongst the lies. Points are scored by truths that go unnoticed, while other panellists can win points if they spot a truth, or lose points if they mistake a lie for a truth. First up is Arthur Smith. Arthur, your subject is Yorkshire, described by my encyclopedia as a historic county of northern England divided since 1974 into North, West and South Yorkshire, as well as the East Riding of Yorkshire. Off you go, Arthur. Fingers on buzzers, the rest of you.
It was Friedrich Nietzsche who once observed, a Yorkshireman is like a Scotsman with all the generosity squeezed out of him. In York, if you are within the city walls, it is legal to shoot a Scotsman with a bow and arrow, to tether a Welshman to a tree, and to take all your clothes off and shout, by gum, it's cold today.
Susan.
I think it might be that you're allowed to shoot a Scotsman with a bow and arrow.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know how well it would stand up in court, but it's a local bylaw. You can kill a Scotsman anywhere and at any time within the boundaries of the city, except Sundays, but only if he is causing a threat by being in possession of a bow and arrow. It comes from the days of regular medieval conflicts between Scotland and England, York being the northern capital and an important military location. You know, it's quite a good idea for an episode of Midsummer Murders, though, isn't it?
The longest ears ever known belonged to one Thomas Wedders of Yorkshire, and they measured 7.5 inches, the same length as his nose, which was the longest nose ever. He was known as Welly the Elephant. The people of Yorkshire are a distinct ethnic type, which makes them physically unable to have sex with people from Lancashire. 1 out of 5 Yorkshiremen is related to the other 4. Felbeck Falls in Yorkshire is twice the height of Niagara, and Yorkshire is twice the size of Mexico. Half the world's heather is in Yorkshire.
I mean, if that fact is made up, it is so supremely mundane that I think it would take an extraordinary mind. That's definitely true. Half the world's heather is definitely in Yorkshire.
No, that is...
Oh, my goodness.
David, half the world...
Don't get heather in very many...
No, it's true. I remember reading, that's why I made the fact up. But it's something like half the world's heather is in Britain, I think. Easter Sunday, 1461, saw the bloodiest day in British history in Towton in Yorkshire when 1% of the English male population was killed. That has got to be one of the most violent football matches ever.
Susan.
Yep, 1% bloody thing.
So
He's just bombarding me with things. This is it's becoming quite difficult.
But you're very good, Susan, because I can reveal that is indeed true, isn't it, David?
It is indeed true. And it shows with a bit of distance you can give the killing of 28,000 people a small round of applause. Yes, which it was 28,000 people are thought to have died on that day during the Wars of the Roses.
Wasn't it? 1% of the male population.
Yeah,
that was a hell of a day.
Yeah.
The famous Yorkshire song On Ilkley Moor Bar Tut has been variously covered by Lady Gaga, AC/DC, Kate Bush and MC Hammer. A popular cure for whooping cough in 19th century Yorkshire was to drink a soup containing 9 frogs.
John.
Do you know, at the point of buzzing, I'm either going to go for that or Kate Bush covering it on Ilkley Moor Bar Tut.
Go for the Kate Bush one,
The further I get from it, seems... I can hear it now. It's actually...
Come on, let's hear it.
I've produced it in my head.
I want to hear it, John. Go on.
No, you don't. It's not good.
Here we go, and now we want to be.
Now do MC Hammer. Which one are you going for, the Kate Bush cover or...?
In a long-term life sense, yeah, I'm going for that.
Yeah.
But in the game, I'm going to go for the frogs thing.
The frogs whooping cough thing?
Yeah.
That is the truer of the two things, in that it's true. Thank you, Arthur. And at the end of that round, you've managed to smuggle 2 truths past the rest of the panel, which are that Thomas Wedders of Yorkshire possessed the longest nose on record, measuring 7.5 inches.
I mean, if you think that is really long, isn't it? That's like about that long, isn't it? I mean, imagine having a nose
Yeah, but
that
just
long.
for those who can't see at home, he's saying about that long. And as a result, he was exhibited in circus sideshows throughout Yorkshire in the 1770s. And the second truth is that Felbeck Waterfall in Yorkshire is twice the height of Niagara Falls. But actually, the thing about Niagara Falls is not how high it is. It's very wide and spectacular, isn't it? So I imagine it looks a lot more impressive than Felbeck
Why would you
Waterfall.
go to bloody Niagara Falls when you got sodded Yorkshire?
I really like Yorkshire. They've always been very friendly to me. I've had some good nights out in Yorkshire. I think they're lovely.
You've really insulted the people of Lancashire there.
I really like Lancashire as well. I don't understand these
You can't
things.
like both, Susan. Pick a team.
Do you know, it sounds like, but we're not taught.
Okay, we'll sort out Yorkshire and Lancashire, and then it's Israel-Palestine.
Okay. Did they have a disagreement?
They did have a disagreement, and at one point in 1461, 28,000 people were killed in the disagreement.
We're not really taught about...
It was about flowers, basically.
Was it about flowers?
Yeah. We really like red ones, and they really like white ones.
Right.
And we weren't
Where are you
off.
from? Are you from one of those places?
Yes. Yes. I am a Lancastrian.
Right.
From Lancashire.
Oh, right. and a place in Lancashire would be...
Lancaster.
Right.
Yeah. We don't muck about.
I genuinely can't tell the difference between I can't, I'm sorry.
Imagine flicking from Coronation Street to Emmerdale. That's probably...
They sound the same.
How can you flick between them? They're on the same channel. You just have to wait for one to end and the next to begin. Anyway, that means, Arthur, you've scored 2 points. Next up is John Richardson. John, your subject is soft or fizzy drinks, non-alcoholic beverages, typically carbonated, sweetened and flavoured, which are sold in bottles or cans. Off you go, John.
Canny manufacturers have launched a number of fizzy products, such as fizzy paint, fizzy whiskey, and most controversially of all, Flat Tango, marketed under the ridiculous name Orange Juice. Fizzy milk was described by its inventors as like a birthday party for a polar bear. The product had to be pulled as the polar bear on the label constantly attacked the seal on the bottle, causing the gas to escape.
David.
I wouldn't be surprised if someone at some point had tried to manufacture fizzy milk.
Well, you're right not to be surprised, because they have. Yes. And it was Coca-Cola who began trialling a carbonated milk drink called Vio in New York in 2009.
I want some.
Well, they said it would expand distribution if the trial was successful. And I think we can infer from our newsagent's shelves how it went.
Since the birth of Jim Carrey, drinks have been kept fizzy by the use of a ring pull, which existed as a wrestling move years before it was used on cans. Before that, people opened cans with their teeth, leading to 250,000 trips to hospital each year with broken teeth and bleeding gums. Teeth and gums are now destroyed just as effectively and much more quickly by the world-famous Coca-Cola. Though world-famous, it is not the most popular drink in a number of countries, such as China, where drinks containing the limbs of endangered animals are preferred. One such drink, in which a tiger's left leg is put into the mix before being taken out again, is known as hokey cokey. Other rivals to the world-famous brand include an Argentinian coffee-flavoured drink called Mocha-Cola, the Peruvian favourite, Inca-Cola, and the Vatican's own brand, Popa-Cola.
Susan.
Inca-Cola, I believe, is true. I think there is something called Inca-Cola, because I have a vague memory of my sister going away somewhere, and she came back with Inca-Cola merchandise. Now, she could have just gone to Lancaster... but I think she went to Peru.
That's completely right, Susan. Inca-Cola is
good,
true.
Susan.
And it does come, as you say, from Peru rather than Lancaster land.
Yeah.
I really want some of that fizzy milk they make. If anyone's listening from Coca-Cola, please send me the last bottle remaining.
The last
I
bottle.
imagine that's delicious.
The 2009 batch of fizzy milk. I reckon that will no longer be a drink, but an award-winning cheese.
Coke's main rival is a drink invented by Max Drinkelstein in 1928. He is now more popularly known as Pepsi Max. Due to the fierce rivalry between the companies, Coca-Cola employees are banned from drinking Pepsi in or out of work, and one member of staff was fired for marrying a Pepsi employee.
Arthur.
I think maybe they are banned from drinking it at work, maybe.
There's no rule against them drinking Pepsi at work, although a man from Atlanta once alleged he was fired for drinking Pepsi in the Coca-Cola bottling plant where he worked. Susan.
Can I go for another thing that you said there about the marriage thing?
No.
That someone was...
No. I don't want to intervene here, David,
Don't
but...
let John sledge
Oh,
you.
it's not, I can't... No.
Typical Lancastrian bully.
I think that someone was fired for the marriage thingamabob. Who do you know what's it that he said?
You're absolutely right.
How does she do this?
In 1985, Amanda M. Blake of Northampton, Massachusetts, claimed she was told by her employer, Coca-Cola, that she would either have to end her engagement with her partner, who'd left Coke to work for Pepsi, or convince him to quit. When she defied their ultimatum, she was fired.
Sprite is made from actual sprites, and Vimto is made from Vim and Toes. Made in Wigan from disused manhole covers, Iron Brew changed its name from the correct spelling due to the inability of Scottish people to properly enunciate. Tense. which is, of course, how Scottish people say tennis. Whilst the drink does contain delicious, delicious iron, it is not brewed, and therefore should be properly known as synthetic orange filth. A name currently trademarked by insert name of fake-tanned celebrity here.
Thank you, John. And at the end of that round, John, you've managed to smuggle 2 truths past the rest of the panel, which are that since the birth of Jim Carrey, drinks have been kept fizzy by the use of a ring pull. It's not an effect of his birth, but ring pulls were added to cans in 1962, and Carrey was born in January of that year.
Oh, that is pure filth.
That is really stretching it. John, I've been a supporter of you throughout this entire show. We've bonded, you've invited me back to your home in Lancashire, and...
I wouldn't mind if you didn't come from a country that had a county called Lanarkshire. I mean, you can do this if you want to.
Lanarkshire.
Just swap the cut round with the A.
Lanarkshire. No, I can't do it. It's just, I don't know. Maybe you should come up to Lanarkshire after that last bit about Iron Brew, and we'll just have a wee see.
Well, speaking of which, the second truth is that Iron Brew is not in fact brewed, although it does contain iron. That means, John, you've scored 2 points. There's a fizzy drink in Greece called Zit. The bottle it's sold in doesn't actually have a top. You just give it a big squeeze and out it pops. Next up is Susan Calman. Susan presents an all-new quiz show on Scottish TV called The Lie, where contestants have to separate the true statements from lies. Where do they get their ideas from? Susan, your subject is skin, the thin layer of tissue which forms the natural outer covering of a human or animal. Off you go, Susan.
We shed around 1 billion skin cells a day.
I think I know all these ridiculous numbers. I bet we do shed 1 billion a day.
No.
Well, how many do we shed?
Just under 1 million.
Well, that's nearly 6 million. It's like loads, anyway.
Yeah, it is loads. It's definitely million and billion both come under the category loads. But there are different sorts of loads.
How many have you shed whilst you've been doing this programme?
Well, I must say I've lost count. But I would say, tens of thousands during this recording.
Yep. The Metropolitan Police have set up an elite squad recruited exclusively from Troublesome Creek, Kentucky, where many residents have blue skin. This makes for a saving on uniforms, as the squad will be deployed completely nude. The butt-naked Bobby on the beat will be allowed to wear a belt, so he has somewhere to keep his truncheon. In addition, flashlights are no longer considered necessary, since there are perfectly good fungal infections that make skin glow in the dark.
Oh.
John.
I'll let David speak for me on this one. I beat you by a
us.
couple of skin cells on the end of a finger.
Yeah. I bet this is true, though.
You think this is true?
Well, it doesn't mean anything because I didn't buzz it, but I'm going to keep
Which bit
pressure.
is true?
The going luminous.
Fungal infections that make skin glow in the dark.
Yeah.
Yes, that is true. Well done, John. In fact, doctors are able to diagnose fungal infections of the skin, such as ringworm, by examining a sufferer with UV light.
In Belgium, the homeless are being provided with shelters made from human skin, because in a lab, a postage stamp-sized slice of circumcised foreskin takes just 21 days to grow big enough to cover 9 basketball courts. This has led to a huge increase in the number of all-weather basketball clubs amongst the Jewish community.
Arthur.
I don't really believe any of it's true. I just want to get Susan or you, David, to try and say that phrase. There's just so many S's in it. It was fun. Go on, have another go, Susan.
Yeah, I'm good. Okay. A postage stamp-sized slice of circumcised...
It can't be done.
A postage stamp-sized slice of circumcised foreskin takes just 21 days to grow big enough to cover 9 basketball courts.
And it was a timely buzz, Arthur, because that is true.
You say it, David.
Yes, it's true. A postage stamp-sized slice of circumcised foreskin takes just 21 days to grow big enough to cover 9 basketball courts. What interests me about this is, though, people say that a lot of people don't like using fur and leather and that sort of thing, but this would be a way of growing a hide that involved the death of no one at all. So we could just have... I mean, in the past...
Start a business, David.
Well, no, in the past, things made out of human skin have had a bad reputation, and deservedly so. But it could be that in the future, a nice tanned foreskin hide would be the perfect way to set up a chic living room.
Would you... If you made a coat out of that, would you put a hood on it, or would you consider that distasteful?
The act of speedy lovemaking is called Schechter, after the Belgian Formula 1 driver, because the speed at which erotic sensations travel from the skin to the brain has been clocked at 120 miles an hour.
John.
The sex thing and the speed of it. I'm not saying this is a specialist subject, but I'm just... 120 miles an hour?
120 miles an hour speed of erotic sensations, that is true. And it's true, in fact, of all skin sensations. They travel to the brain at speeds, according to various reports, ranging between 120 and 180 miles an hour.
I wonder if they make banana fizzy milk.
We must not end up like Belgium. We must use the strength of our skin, apparently strong enough to suspend the weight of 2 Jeremy Clarksons for an hour above a lake full of crocodiles. And we must fortify ourselves with the nutrition from the 700,000 skin flakes we inhale each day to stay strong. The skin revolution is here.
David.
Now, I'm going to do something that's never been attempted on this show before. I'm going to go for what in billiards would be called a cannon.
Oh.
But what I will call guessing 2 things there.
Oh, right. You're going for a double buzz.
I'm going for a double buzz.
OK.
So,
Actually, you did one before, so that's a triple. Can you withdraw one?
I'm going to say Clarkson is a 15-stone man. I'm going to say skin can support 30 stone. And then I'm also going to say that we inhale this amount of skin
700,000
flakes.
skin
So
flakes.
I'm going to double up. I'm going to put it all on those 2.
The thing about Jeremy Clarkson being suspended by his skin, that is not true.
Shame.
The thing about us all inhaling 700,000 skin flakes a day, that is true. Therefore, you lose a point, you gain a point. It's as if nothing happened, except we're all a bit closer to death. And that's the end of Susan's lecture. At the end of that round, Susan, you've managed to smuggle one truth past the rest of the panel, which is that in Troublesome Creek, Kentucky, a number of the town's inhabitants are 6th-generation descendants of French orphan Martin Fugate. Fugate had a rare recessive gene which resulted in dark blue skin. When one of Fugate's descendants was born in 1975 with skin the colour of a bruised plum, he was rushed to the University of Kentucky Medical Center for a blood transfusion until it was pointed out by one of the baby's relatives that the baby's great-grandmother, Luna Fugate, was, quote, blue all over and, quote, the bluest woman I ever saw. And that means, Susan, you've scored 1 point. Next up is David O'Doherty. Your subject, David, is pirates. Persons who attack and rob ships at sea without the authorization of any nation. Off you go, David.
In all human history, it's doubtful that a group has been as wildly misremembered over time as the pirates. Even the word pirates is a misspelling of pilates, the system they invented along with many other mind and body improvement techniques we have today. Several of them introduced by the notorious privateer Alexander Technique. Holistic pirate captains presided over incredibly calm ships. Crews were democratic, with all pirates voting on major decisions.
Maybe they were democratic, some of these pirates, that it wasn't just like the captain was the boss. Maybe it was the beginning of democracy in pirate ships. I'm talking rubbish, aren't I?
No,
I'm not.
You're completely right.
Ah.
Yeah. Pirate ships in the 17th and 18th centuries were in general democratic. All pirates aboard voted on major decisions, and the captain was elected and could be impeached. All booty was distributed among the crew, with the captain getting a larger portion and the rest shared evenly.
Oh, pirates are socialists. Was Karl Marx a pirate?
Well, he had a beard, didn't he? So, yeah.
Karl Marx. Most pirate ships planted palm trees on remote desert islands in an attempt to offset their carbon emissions. Card games were popular, but gambling for money was usually not allowed on board pirate ships.
Arthur?
I think probably card games were popular. Certainly when I was a pirate, we used to play Snap all the time.
Well, that's not true.
Well, how do you know?
Well...
have you ever been on a pirate ship?
I tell you how I know that's not true. It's because what is true is that gambling for money was usually not allowed.
I was actually going to say that gambling for money wasn't
Oh,
allowed.
come on.
I was genuinely...
Can I just say now as well, I was going to say all the ones at the end.
Oh, this is broken down. Mitchell, assume control.
No, this is completely broken down, and I'd like to blame myself, but I don't have it in me, so I'm going to lash out.
OK, fine.
No, I had to, Susan. I was in an impossible position. The only way I could justify that what Arthur said was nonsense was by revealing the truth. That how can I know that you were going to buzz in? But frankly, I don't trust you enough to just give you the point.
Nicholas Parsons never loses control like this.
He does.
I can't give you the point there, Susan,
David.
but I can. You have my heartfly apologies.
I accept those apologies, and I thank you for making
that's
that.
okay, David.
Shut up,
Thank
John.
you very much. I only buzzed because I thought, I wanted just to join in with everybody because it's nice when we're all...
Oh dear, it's turned ugly.
It's terrible. Why can't people in the northern half of this island just get along, be it Scottish, Lancastrian, Yorkshireman? Come on, guys.
Pirates were health and safety obsessed. The most common pirate phrases being, "Arr, have ye filled out a risk assessment form?" And "Arr, make sure you bend your knees before lifting that there treasure." Pirate Henry Morgan's ship had a generous workers' compensation plan with a career-ending injury worth 600 pieces of gold, over £100,000 in today's money.
Arthur.
Maybe there was something like that. They made a lot of money, and there was a pirate called Henry Morgan, wasn't there? It sort of smacks of being true.
The reason for that smack is because of truth. You have slapped the arse of truth.
On the issue of treasure, pirates couldn't stand the stuff, and there is only one recorded incidence of treasure being buried by a pirate.
Arthur.
I think it's conceivable. There may only be one actual recorded example of a pirate burying treasure.
I think
He's
you might.
getting all
He's
these
a.
right.
I think you might be a pirate. Yes, you're absolutely right. The only pirate known to have buried treasure was the Scottish pirate Captain Kidd, who buried some captured loot on the tip of Long Island as he sailed into New York. He'd hoped to use it as a bargaining chip in order to avoid punishment, but was unsuccessful and subsequently hanged.
Pirates drank rum because they claimed it stayed fresh longer than casks of water.
Now, I'm sorry to be
Arthur.
technical, but pirates drank rum is clearly true.
Well, in fact, though, what was being asserted in that sentence was the reason
That
why
is
they
a
drank.
sentence. Pirates drank rum.
Yeah, but it wasn't-
Yes, it
that-
is.
I
didn't even put a
It's
comma.
a finite clause. Is there anyone here prepared to say that is a finite clause of sentence?
David,
Yeah,
stand up to this.
There you
You're
are.
losing it again. Go on, punch
Stop
him.
telling me to stand up to people, David. It doesn't help me stand up to people. You've got to let me find it within myself. Now, Arthur, I would be the last person to disagree with the fact that pirates drank rum is a sentence. Nevertheless, it is not the sentence that David spoke. The sentence
it
he
is.
spoke is, pirates drank rum because they claimed it stayed fresh longer than casks of water, which, incidentally, is also true, so you get the point anyway. Thank you, David. At the end of that round, David, I'm afraid to say you smuggled no truths past Susan, John, and Pirate Arthur. So that means, I'm afraid, David, you've scored no points. Ha! Which brings us to the final scores. In fourth place, with -2 points, it's David O'Doherty.
In third place, with 2 points, it's Arthur Smith.
Oh.
And in joint first place, with 6 points each, it's this week's winners, John Richardson and Susan Calman.
David Mitchell.
Hello and welcome to The Unbelievable Truth, the panel game where the players lie about truth, lie about fiction and lie about naked. Joining me this week we have 4 top-class comedians who make being funny look easy, when in fact, as we all know, it's Jade Goody who looks easy. They are Dara O'Brien, Sandy Toksvig, Joe Caulfield and Graham Garden. The game couldn't be much simpler. Each of the panel presents a short talk on a certain subject which should be largely fictional. However, each has been supplied with 5 items of unlikely but true information which they should attempt to smuggle past their opponents in order to win points. Points will be scored by anyone spotting these factual truths, but deducted for an incorrect challenge. We'll begin with Sandy Toksvig. Sandy, your subject is George W. Bush, the 43rd and current President of the United States of America.
George W. Bush got his name from his early childhood living under dense foliage in the mountains of Tennessee. He was raised by wolves, which is why he never fully mastered human speech.
Graham.
I think she's right about not mastering human speech, isn't she? That's the truth.
Some people have said he's not entirely articulate, but I don't think that was because he was raised by wolves.
No. Does he get a point, then?
No, he doesn't get a point, I don't think.
Despite this, George managed to grow up and go to Yale University, where the White House website will tell you he graduated in the top 86% of his class.
Dara.
Depressingly, for Yale University, he did go to Yale University, didn't he?
He did indeed,
And
yes.
It does say on the website that George graduated in the top 86% of his class.
So,
That is the truth. And George has yet to work out that is 14% from the bottom. Yeah. George is known to have a number of phobias. He will do anything to avoid going in a lift, can't bear fish served with any kind of sauce, or international law being followed in disputes with other countries.
Dara.
Just for the crack, I am going to say that clearly the last one isn't true, but I would like to think that he does have some sort of phobia about fish served with sauce.
Unfortunately, that's not one of his weaknesses.
No.
I think he's like, like with toddlers, you can't give them food that actually looks like food. He likes food, if it's in the shape of a bear or something, he'll eat it. So to give him a fish, he's not going to eat that, is he?
Unless it's in the shape of a bear.
Exactly. Yeah. But the fact that George Bush can eat sauce, he's gone up in my estimation no end. I think we're underestimating him.
He has to do it with a straw, mind.
Right.
True, and sauce isn't technically a solid food, so... And for all we know, every White House meal does come with airplane noises. Which actually never made sense really, if you think of it. Because, okay, obviously, I understand the train is going into the tunnel, or the car, vroom, 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 but who flies an airplane into a tunnel?
I think it's every child has a fantasy about being a sort of vehicle-eating monster. Everyone wants to be King Kong. It's like, have you ever eaten whitebait? It's sort of like having genocide on a plate. Fantastic. Whole family on one fork.
Somewhere. The man from the White-Based Marketing Institute is scribbling that out. That's brilliant. It's like genocide on a plate. You're running into work tomorrow going, big day for the White-Based Institute this week.
You might not think the leader of the free world has time for a hobby, but because George doesn't pay attention in meetings, he has time to collect autographed baseballs. He has 250 in his collection, making him the president with the most balls ever. George also has a passion for the history of the American Indian, and he has a large picture of Chief Guantanamo on the Oval Office wall. Guantanamo was a chief famous for his love of glitter, his passion for the colour orange, and his invention of the one-piece jumpsuit. In his last years, Guantanamo actually met the young George. The president often tells the story of how they sat around the campfire smiling. Indeed, it was on that evening that George coined the term friendly fire, which he has had so many opportunities to use since. George is the first president in American history to enter office with a criminal record, and probably not the last to leave with one.
I think that's actually true that he has a prison record. For drinking and driving, something like some kind of drunken frat party activity.
It is true. He's never been to prison, as far as I know, but he does have a criminal record. That is true.
Does that mean what? He's on parole at the moment for a very long time.
I think he pleaded guilty to drink driving, paid the fine, which was, a piffling sum for him, something like $5 million, and had his driver's license suspended for 30 days. But they didn't send him to prison. But he's been arrested 3 times. He was arrested once for stealing a large Christmas wreath from a hotel, which I think we can imagine the look of glee on his face as he snuck out into the car park with it. And once for ripping down the Princeton goalposts after a Princeton-Yale game. Because you know how annoying everyone at Princeton and Iraq is. But yes, no, that's true, that's a point. He's the first president to have gone into office with a criminal record, unless you count George Washington's record for treason. Anyway, Sandy.
George is quite happy to tell you that he has a sister called Dorothy, but if anyone calls him a friend of Dorothy, he gets very cross.
Graham.
He does have a sister called Dorothy.
Yes, he does. He's got a sister called Dorothy. And I don't think she's even a governor of a state. So presumably doesn't bother to speak to her. But yes, he does. So yes. That's the point. And that's the end of Sandy's bit. Sandy, you've managed to smuggle 2 truths past the rest of you, and they are that at Yale University, George W. Bush was a head cheerleader. I don't know whether cheerleader means a different thing. I think we can only assume that he wore a miniskirt and pom-poms. And so they said, let's make him leader of the free world. And he does have a collection of over 250 autographed baseballs, which is an incredibly tedious fact. And what a boring thing to collect. But yes, so that means, Sandy, you've scored 2 points.
Yay!
Another interesting piece of unlikely trivia about George W. Bush is that he's the first US president to have completed a full marathon distance. He ran 26 miles, 385 yards in under 3 hours of receiving his Vietnam draft papers. OK, we now turn to Dara O'Brien. Dara is but the latest to join a long list of truly great Irish comedians to find success in Britain, such as Dave Allen and Jimmy Cricket. He joins a list of 1.
I do tend to think that Jimmy Cricket is very much our gift to you in return for Cromwell.
I think any historian would say at this point that Cromwell was a lot funnier than Jimmy Cricket. Your subject, Dara, is women, the common name for human females. Fingers on buzzers, everyone else. Off you go, Dara.
Women. Let me just say at the start that they're doing a fantastic job, and well done to them.
Sandy.
Well, he did say it at the start, so it is the truth.
I did actually say it at the start.
Yeah.
You're right. It's
so
very
true.
nitpicky, and that's quite just a minute, if you don't mind me saying that a little moment.
I thought you were going to say that women were all doing a great job, and that might be true, but that obviously wasn't what you were about to say. So I think...
Shall I continue?
Carry on, yeah.
Thank you very much. Ever since the Council of Trent in 1563, women have been legal. Since then, it's been landmark after landmark. The first world Scrabble champion, the first person to attempt to cross Niagara Falls in a barrel, the first to...
Sandy.
That is true. It was a woman she was a school teacher, and she was trying to make some money, and she was the first woman over the Niagara Falls in a barrel, and when they opened it up, she said no one should ever have to do that again. And I think she was called Annie Taylor, and she died penniless. But anyway,
I love the way she died penniless, as if somehow that should have been enough to keep her in clover for the rest of her life.
Well, no,
isn't life cruel the way, plutocrats get all the cash, but a woman who went across Niagara in a barrel, it's ignored?
She used to tour vaudeville theatres with the splintered barrel.
Really?
That was her act.
Yes, the first person to go over Niagara Falls in a barrel was a woman, and she was strapped into a wooden barrel with her cat.
I'm also impressed by the fact, which I didn't know, even as I put this fact down, that she was strapped into the barrel, making me seem that it was a lot less consensual on her part. that she was very much an early version of that monkey that got fired into space. So we'll see if the woman survives, and then we'll head across.
Then we'll try the dog. But yes, that's absolutely true. So carry on.
Okay. Women have been trusted in so many of society's most important jobs, especially after men had run them in for a generation or two. By which I mean the jobs, by the way, obviously. There are so many things that women can do that men cannot. But the physical differences are the ones that are most striking. Women's skin is more oily than men's, an evolutionary throwback to the days when cavemen chose their partners by a lack of friction. Their sense of smell is so much more acute than men that they can often tell if you've had a shower yet by how you sound on the phone.
Sandy.
The acuter sense of smell, yes.
No, I don't. As far as we know, that's not true, I'm afraid.
Certainly not as acute as I made it out to be.
Yeah.
Do you know what's really irritating? I've just finished writing a book called Girls Are Best, which is all the things women have done first in the world. This is very annoying for Dara, but I actually could quote you the University of Virginia's study on women's sense of smell.
All right. To be honest, I just like the joke about they can tell if you've had a shower by how you sound on the phone. So frankly, I made up the fact to back it up. If I've accidentally stumbled across truth, well, that's really irritating.
I'm afraid, as far as I know, it's not true, and I can't. I mean,
fair.
I can't set a precedent of people saying I've just written a book about this.
It's totally fair.
Yeah. It is. I'm afraid the male patriarchy has deemed that fact which you have researched to be not worthy of truth. Women blink twice as often as men, but fart half as often. According to a survey from the University of Arizona, beautiful women have less confidence than plain ones. Although the results were reversed when the scientists let slip to the plain ones which group they were in. The Japanese kanji character for woman is the mirror image of the character for man. The Chinese character for trouble depicts two women living under the same roof.
Graham.
I think it does.
Yes, it does. Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
I got that from reading Sandy's book about Chinese
It's done terribly well.
While we enjoy women and all of their many treasures, we must never become complacent. More than 40% of English women have punched or kicked their partners, often while their partner is desperately trying to remember the safe word. The safe word, by the way, is always Biloddy.
Thank you, Dara. So, at the end of that, you managed to smuggle 3 truths past the rest of the panel, which are that women do blink twice as often as men. No one knows where that fact comes from, but apparently it's all over the internet, and therefore must be true. And according to a survey from the University of Arizona, which actually that's the sort of clause that means this true thing might not be true, beautiful women have less confidence than plain ones. The theory was that being constantly ogled by men led to increased anxiety and insecurity amongst women. And the third truth was that more than 40% of English women have punched or kicked their partners. So at the end
the beautiful women one is very, very interesting. Their confidence is lowered by men looking at them.
If you stare at a beautiful woman for a really long time, eventually you can get yourself a woman with really low self-esteem, and then you can get to go out with a very beautiful woman. That must be the way it works.
That sounds like a sort of pulling technique I could successfully adopt. Just silent ogling for months, if not years. And then
until they're a shred.
Until they're a shell, and they just come over and go, all right then. At which point I'd go off them. But so that means, Dara, you've scored 3 points. According to government statistics, 49% of British women are able to drive. The other 51% have 4x4s. Right, it's now the turn of Joe Caulfield. Your subject, Joe, is ants. Insects belonging to the family Formicidae, characterised by a conspicuous waist and elbowed antennae. Fingers on buzzers, the rest of you. Off you go, Joe.
Firstly, let's clear up a mistake often made in the confusing world of celebrity insects. Ants, the one with the big forehead, Dec's the one that looks like a young Irish girl. It is, however, unusual for ants to get on television, although in 1989 in EastEnders there was an infestation at the Queen Vic. The BBC used over 1 million ants in the course of filming.
Sandy.
I want that to be true. I long that there was a moment when Pauline Fowler was ravaged by ants.
You can't leave a trail of sugar to the leading actress, can you? Put Pauline Fowler just so she oozes glucose across the floor.
I think that's what they normally do, isn't it?
I imagine that's what they did if this was true, which it isn't, unfortunately.
Contrary to popular belief, ants actually prefer fruit to sugary foods. They squeeze their food tight, suck out all the juices, and then throw away the dry remains, which is, interesting, the same technique used by my grandmother, making them both unpleasant dinner party guests. But be glad that ants are ant-sized. They expend so much energy that if ants stood shoulder to shoulder with the average man, they would need an intake of over 55,000 calories a day.
Sandy.
I think that's true.
They need 55,000 calories a day.
If they were big, they would need that much calories a day.
As far as we know, that's not true.
I've been writing a book called Ants Are Best.
US Homeland Security have trained ants to sniff out explosives at airports. Despite their size, an ant's sense of smell is just as good as a dog's. And unlike dogs, they're not so emotionally needy. So, you know what I mean? At the end of the shift, you don't have to sit there patting them, going, oh, what a good boy, didn't you do well? You can just stomp them to death.
Dara.
Independent stomping to death, I presume their sense of smell is as good as dogs.
Yes, it is.
But interestingly, women's sense of smell...
So, yes. Point to Dara. Off you go, Joe.
On detecting explosives, the ants will communicate this information back along the line by touch. They do this by tapping, dancing and stroking, which makes ant communication sound very much like your creepy uncle at a wedding reception. The ants will alert security staff to the potential terrorist by arranging themselves into the shape of a giant arrow and pointing at the suspect. There is an endless supply of ants, as there are 10,000 trillion ants in the world.
But there must be, because the way she did there are that many ants in the world.
There are 10,000 trillion ants in the world. Exactly.
Who
one's died.
Yeah.
Oh, 5 have been born. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, it's immediately wrong.
One final fact that may interest many male listeners. Male ants don't do any work in the colony. Their only function is to mate with young females. These are known as Callum Best ants.
Thank you, Joe. So, Joe managed to smuggle 3 truths past the panel, which is that they squeeze their food tight, suck out all the juices, and then throw away the dry remains. So, essentially, they're soup eaters. They communicate by touch, tapping, stroking, and dancing to deliver simple messages, or presumably complicated ones. Whatever, I mean, how complicated could an ant message be? The third fact is that male ants don't do any work in the colony or hill or nest. Their sole function is to mate with young queens, and they die soon after. So, with that thought of a life of copulation and death, that means, Joe, you scored 3 points. An ant's jaws open and shut sideways like a pair of scissors to twice the width of its head. Do you know, I've just suddenly got a picture of Cherie Blair in my mind. OK, it's now the turn of Graham Garden. Your subject, Graham, is the Olympic Games, the 4-yearly sporting contest originally held in Olympia, ancient Greece. Off you go, Graham.
The Olympic flame has been carried by more famous novelists than any other well-known flame. I think I got that one past. Right. At the 1908 London Games, Queen Alexandra demanded that after completing the 26-mile marathon, the runners should carry on another 385 yards to the finishing line right in front of the royal box.
It's a very firm buzz from Sandy.
No, there's a bit of mine as well.
All right, Sandy.
I think that's true. I think that's the reason why it's exactly the length that it is now, because she was Danish, and we don't like to move too far. And I think she wanted to see the winners come up the mall. I think that's true.
Yes, that is absolutely true. They added the 385 yards just for the convenience of the royal family. So, yes, that's why it's as long as it is. And everyone says that 26.2 miles, and it's actually the 0.2 miles that's the toughest bit, let me tell you. Well, actually, before 1908, they wouldn't have had to run that. And I wonder, actually, how easy they would have found it.
One early field event was catching the shot. It was a ball fired from a small cannon. But in 1912, after several athletes had been injured, a memo was sent by the committee. Would athletes not be safer throwing the shot rather than trying to catch it? Discuss. And as a result, stay with me, as a result, in the next games, they introduced the shot put and, accidentally, the discus. Strictly speaking, the discus was reintroduced as it was based on the ancient Greek practice of throwing plates in restaurants. Some glues are banned in table tennis bats because, as the bats warm up during play, they release performance-enhancing fumes.
Joe.
That sounds fabulously true, I think.
Fabulous, but not true.
Oh, what a lovely idea.
What did you think was true?
That's why it's so fast, because they're all high. You know, they're all speeding off their tips with these glue on the ping pong.
So, well, you see, you're so close, because some glues are banned in table tennis bats, but it's not because as they warm up, they release performance-enhancing fumes.
What is it then? Is it that it sticks to your hand, the bat?
It makes the ball go faster.
Makes the ball go faster?
A glue that makes the ball go faster.
Yeah.
It would stick it to your bat.
It's very bad glue, obviously. Very ineffective.
If it's stuck to the bat and you just say, oh, it's gone so fast and it's back again, but it hasn't moved, is that what the glue...
And you just make the noise with your mouth.
Yeah.
Sex tests for athletes were introduced originally as a competitive event, but they were abandoned when a satisfactory scoring system couldn't be devised. At the 1976 Games, all female athletes were sex tested, except, of course, for Princess Anne.
Sandy.
I don't know why that. I think that's probably true. I think she went through in the horse doping section and they didn't do the...
Yes, that is absolutely true.
You couldn't ask a royal, go on, show us your genitals. You couldn't really, could you? God almighty, if you'd run another 385 yards for them, you're not going to ask to see their bits as well, are you?
Johnny Weissmuller, who later to find fame in the movies as King Kong, took part in the 1932 Olympics and was hotly tipped to win gold in the pool events. But in the semi-finals, he sadly broke his cue, trying for a tricky 8-ball. And
Dara.
He was an Olympian, wasn't he, Johnny Weissmuller?
He certainly wasn't in the 1932 Olympics playing pool. But yeah, I mean, he was certainly a swimmer, wasn't he? But I don't know what Olympics he was in.
1924.
Oh, the Chariots of Fire Olympics.
Yeah.
They didn't,
oh my God, what a geek moment that was.
What do you mean a geek moment? I'm into all of the films about the Olympics. Chariots of Fire. Yeah, I just I'm having an Olympic film marathon. I'm going to watch Chariots of Fire.
To remember the year. It's just a film of boys in long white shorts. It's really...
Yes, and if any of the events were won by women, it'd be in your book.
Yes.
But they've got... Yeah, it's quite prominent in the film. It says 1924 Olympics all over the place.
It's been a while since I've seen it.
Well...
I must come over.
It is indeed an excellent film in which Britain wins at sport.
At the gymnastics in 1976, spectators were outraged when Nadia Comaneci's perfect display was rewarded with a score of only 1. This was because the scoreboards could only display scores up to 9.99, so her perfect 10 was displayed as 1.00.
Oh, I want that to be true. I remember that. It was such an amazing moment. It probably isn't true, but I sort of wanted it to be true. That it was is it true?
Yeah, that is
it was really
true.
moving. I remember that. It was a very...
So a moving moment when a gymnast does something amazing and then gets one. That sounds quite a funny
because there was such an uproar, and then it was explained, and people
right.
went sort of... I remember that people went sort of nuts.
Graham.
A popular trivia question is, in which year did nobody win the pentathlon? And the answer is 1956, the year when Finland's Paavo Nobody won the event. And the most famous dead heat came in 1948, when Lindgren of Finland and Hoch of Austria both took the gold medal for architecture, both having designed identical buildings.
Thank you, Graham. So, Graham, you managed to smuggle 2 truths past the rest of the panel. They are the glue on table tennis bats because they make the ball travel faster, that we've already touched upon. And the other thing is that the most famous dead heat in the Olympics came in 1948 when Lindgren of Finland and Hoch of Austria both took the gold medal for architecture. But they didn't design the same building. Hoch designed a ski-jumping hill, while Lindgren won his medal for town planning. And I've just lost my frame of reference for the whole world. So that means you've scored 2 points. The call of in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out was first used in rowing events at the 1896 Olympics and last used for the England cricket team at the 2007 World Cup. Which brings us to the final scores, which are going to be very exciting. Because this has never happened before. This is a scenario in scoring that we call everyone getting 3. I think it's just great that everyone's a winner here, by which I mean also everyone came last. So well done on the whole panel for getting 3. Well, as I check my watch, Mickey Mouse's hands tell me we've run out of time and that my Rolex might be a fake. All that remains is for me to thank Dara O'Brien, Sandy Toksvig, Joe Caulfield and Graham Garden for being here, and Paul Daniels. Welcome to The Unbelievable Truth, the panel show about incredible truths and barely credible lies. I'm David Mitchell. As for our panel, well, if you want to be entertained by a classy quartet, you really should switch to Radio 3. So instead, please welcome Angela Barnes, Mark Steele, Ria Lina and Alan Davis. The rules are as follows. Each panellist will present a short lecture that should be entirely false, save for 5 hidden truths which their opponent should try to identify. Points are scored by truths that go unnoticed, while other panellists can win points if they spot a truth, or lose points if they mistake a lie for a truth. First up is Angela Barnes. Angela has won 9 separate episodes of Richard Osman's House of Games, taking home a fondue set, a decanter, a set of luggage, a cool bag, matching goblets, a dartboard and a cocktail shaker. Her ambition is to go on one more time and win the coveted golden skip to put them all in. Angela, your subject is wheels, circular objects that revolve on an axle and are used to make vehicles or parts of machines move. Off you go, Angela. Fingers on buzzers, the rest of you.
Patented in 2001, the wheel is one of the most exciting inventions of the 21st century so far. And many of us have now forgotten our lives before the wheel came along. How until 2007 we used to travel to work on a giant conveyor belt, when unicycles were just pogo sticks. And DJ Nicky Campbell hosted the country's most popular TV game show, Sledge of Fortune. I was a champion roller dancer in my youth, gaining a grade 7 in roller disco and a grade 9 in roller jazz. The first roller skates were invented by a violin maker when he accidentally stepped into a half-finished violin, skidded along the floor and thought there's something in this.
Alan.
Invented by a violin maker.
You're absolutely right.
Roller skates were invented in 1759 by the Belgian musical instrument maker and inventor Joseph Merlin, who had the idea of making a spectacular entrance on his new invention at a grand costume ball held in London's Soho Square. According to one contemporary account, quote, not having provided the means of retarding his velocity or commanding its direction, he impelled himself against a mirror of more than £500 value, dashed it to atoms, broke his instrument to pieces, and wounded himself most severely. And you'd think that would have been it for roller skating.
Instead, they banned mirrors.
Here are some genuinely and really useful household inventions. Maybe I could interest you in a duvet on wheels that makes it easier to snatch it back from your duvet-hogging partner. An alarm clock on wheels that, if you don't wake up on time, runs away and hides, so you have to get your lazy ass out of bed to find it.
Rhea.
I want one. Yes, that. There's also an alarm clock that's a baseball, and you can throw it against the wall to make it shut up.
Well, you're absolutely right about
wheels.
this one. The alarm clock on wheels exists. It's known as Clocky. According to the advertising blurb, waking up early is hard. Clocky will jump from your nightstand 3 feet high, wheel on carpet or wood floors and hide. He moves far away from your bed. You have to find him to turn off his super loud, annoying alarm.
Or a lazy Karen, which is like a lazy Susan, but instead of using it to share food, you share unsolicited opinions. Samsonites, the company that invented the wheelie suitcase and the wheelie bin, were disappointed with the sales of their wheelie briefcase and wheelie handbag. But they did have a modest success with their wheelie coffin, which allows a single mourner to make their way to the graveside, trundling their loved one behind them. Celebrities who have recognised the multi-purpose nature of the wheel include Johnny Vegas, who has adapted the spare wheel for his VW Golf to double as a pottery wheel.
Mark.
Yeah, he's done that, Johnny Vegas.
No, he hasn't. he is a potter, apparently. He has done
he is
pottery.
a potter, yeah.
He's exhibited his pottery, but it wasn't.
That's why I said that.
Yeah. That was very, very unfair of you.
There's a skill to this game that I've not quite grasped.
Jamie Oliver, who has a specially customised Land Rover that can make butter and ice cream in the wheel drum, and Fatboy Slim Norman Cook, whose bespoke DJ decks are made from the wheels of his son's first bicycle.
Alan.
I'll go for the Fatboy Slim one.
No.
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 Plausible, isn't it?
Yeah, it'd be plausible. It's sort of a nice...
He's got a son.
Nice story.
I'm not falling for that Oliver one.
And Salvador Dali's famous melting clock faces were inspired by a wheel of camembert that had been left out in the sun.
Rhea.
Yeah, that one. That one sounds fun. I like that idea. You know how camembert has that weird bacteria in it that does something to your brain, and then he just went, whoa, clocks. And then he went chasing them around the room because they were beeping.
Sorry, what? Camembert's got what in it? What's it got in it?
Camembert's going extinct because the bacteria in it, and it does good things, but it's running out.
Going extinct, it doesn't occur naturally.
They're putting the camemberts together in zoos, in special reserves in Kenya, and they just won't mate.
You know that camembert isn't a bear.
Anyway, Dali camembert clocks.
Well, you're absolutely right about that. Salvador Dali revealed that the idea for the melting clock faces depicted in paintings such as The Persistence of Memory, which some have described as, quote, an unconscious symbol of the relativity of space and time and a surrealist meditation on the collapse of our notions of a fixed cosmic order, came to him after he watched a wheel of camembert cheese melt in the sun. Thank you, Angela. And at the end of that round, Angela, you've managed to smuggle 2 truths past the rest of the panel, which are that the wheel was patented in 2001. The wheel, or more specifically, a circular transportation facilitation device, was patented in Australia by John Keogh, a patent lawyer, in an attempt to demonstrate how flawed his country's new fast-track, low-cost patent system was. The Australian Patent Office proved his point by granting the patent. And the second truth is that Jamie Oliver has a specially customised Land Rover that can make butter and ice cream in the wheel drum. Land Rover.
I knew it.
Yeah. It says here, Land Rover teamed up with Jamie Oliver. They just teamed up for fun. Just one of those phrases. We've teamed up with the guys at Andrex to see how squelchy your shit has become. We've teamed up to address world poverty by telling you our name again and again and again. We've teamed up with dentists to decide how many teeth you really need. It's an immediate sign someone is bullshitting you.
It's brilliant when he gets angry.
But anyway, Angela, on the plus side, that means you've scored 2 points.
Thank you.
OK, we turn now to Mark Steele. Mark was adopted at 10 days old and brought up in Kent. I probably should have checked he already knew that. Mark, your subject is cows, large domesticated bovines commonly raised for meat, dairy products or for leather. Off you go, Mark.
Mum, you should have told me. Proper British people eat cows every day, especially men. Not only cow sausages, but cow tea, cow tara massalata and pickled cow onions, because we're British. We're not one of those woke countries like Holland where cows are allowed to avoid being milked if they identify as a horse. Or Norway, where dairy cows are given a mattress to lie on and eat gluten-free grass, and a therapist asks them, when you were told you were going to be chopped up and sold at Burger King, how did that make you feel? And in Sweden, you have to call...
Alan.
Sorry, Mark. About the adoption.
Well, I'm being professional and I'm soldiering on.
Do they give mattresses to cows in Norway?
They do. Yes, well done. Researchers believe lying on the soft surface of a mattress increases blood volume through the udders, and that allows cows to produce around 5% more milk while also reducing udder infections.
And in Sweden, you have to call cows legged, grass-chewing bovine quadrupeds, or LGBTQ for short. In Scotland, it's illegal to be drunk in charge of a cow, and in Finland, a cow won a poetry competition as her moos were interpreted as an expression of her hopeful, yet somehow melancholic yearning for the love of the bull that lived in the next field.
Rhea.
Oh, I'm regretting this already, now that I think it through. I was going to say Scotland, and you can't be drunkenly in charge of a cow, but then who does that leave to be in charge of the cows?
Well, you're absolutely right, though. Yeah. According to the Licensing Act of 1872, it's an offence in Scotland to be drunk while in charge of a cow, horse, carriage or steam engine, or while in the possession of a loaded firearm.
Royal cows on the Windsor estate sleep on waterbeds in a cowshed that's fully carpeted, although they do have to share it with Prince Andrew, as that's where he's made to sleep these days. Cow dung has now won the esteemed Dung of the Year award 5 years running. During the Second World War, it was used in mascara. It's been used in production of vinyl for records and the...
Angela.
Do you know what? I was going to say cow dung mascara, then I thought of the infections that would cause. I've said it now.
You have said it.
Yeah.
Now you've committed a buzz.
I have.
So I can't let you take that back, or this game will become trivial.
Radio 4.
No, absolutely. No, I'm afraid that's not true.
Yeah, no, I knew that.
In Northern Ireland, it was used to stuff cushions, and their assembly building was covered in the dung to make it camouflaged. And as a result, the Luftwaffe left the Stormont Parliament building alone, but Hitler did make plans to use the building as a compost heap once he'd invaded.
Angela.
Did they cover Stormont in dung?
They did!
Yeah!
Yes!
Did they put the cows up there?
During the Second World War, the Northern Ireland Assembly Building was covered in cow manure and bitumen to camouflage it from enemy attack. After the war, the dung and bitumen mixture took 7 years to remove, and the exterior facade never regained its original white colour.
The list of people who have been attacked by cows includes David Dickinson during an episode of Bargain Hunt, Prime Minister Gladstone on a country walk in an incident often blamed for his failure to give home rule to Ireland, and Snoop Dogg, who wrote about it in his lyrics. Hear my vow, my Uzi make you go kapow, then it's chow cow, you're a beef biryani now.
Rhea.
Gladstone.
Correct. Prime Minister William Gladstone was injured after being knocked down by a mad cow while walking in the grounds of Harden Castle. The cow was shot dead by Tom Bailey, the licensee of the nearby Castle Inn. In recognition, Mr. Gladstone had the head of the cow mounted on a piece of wood from a tree he himself had felled and presented it to Mr. Bailey. So that's a nice touch. And that is actually the end of Mark's lecture. And at the end of that round, Mark, you've managed to smuggle one truth past the rest of the panel, and that truth is that royal cows on the Windsor estate sleep on waterbeds.
No.
This is a report for BBC's Country File. Viewers were astonished to learn that not a regular occurrence when watching Country File, they were astonished to learn that the royal cows sleep on their own waterbeds. The beds are intended to de-stress the animals. And that means, Mark, you've scored 1 point. Blowing air into a cow's vagina will make it produce more milk. This is known as cow blowing. Officer. Next up is Rhea Lena. Rhea, your subject is condiments, edible substances such as sauces that are added to food, typically after cooking, to enhance its flavour. Off you go, Rhea.
Worcestershire sauce was originally marketed as a cure-all for troubled marriages.
Angela.
Was it marketed as a sort of marriage saviour?
No.
How
would that have worked?
Saved my marriage.
Oh, well, OK, well, maybe you should get involved in advertising.
Team up with them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Someone will blow you up the vagina, and someone else...
You calling me a cow?
Yeah. Backtracking.
A company in China once made a type of soy sauce using human hair. They made dark soy, light soy, and after a visit to Scotland, ginger soy.
Mark.
Oh. So bad at this. Yes, the Chinese did that, even though they clearly, obviously didn't.
The human hair in soy sauce? Absolutely right. According to a 2004 programme on the state-run China Central Television, a company called Hong Shui Soy Sauce were discovered to be buying cheap amino acid syrup used in the manufacture of soy sauce from a company that created their amino acid syrup from human hair collected from barbershop floors, hospitals and salons. In response, the Chinese government banned this kind of soy sauce production. The amino acids in human hair can be used to make a condiment with a flavour similar to that of the usual soy variety. So, I don't see the problem, really. As long as it, doesn't give you diarrhoea, then it doesn't matter if it's got human hair in it, does it? Carry on, Rhea.
Many foods have recently been found to contain much higher levels of protein than initially thought, including Dijon mustard, which contains mustard mites, vinegar, which contains vinegar eels, and scorpion singer hot sauce, which contains the venom from actual scorpions.
Oh, God.
Angela.
Second one? Not the mustard and not the scorpion, the other one.
Vinegar.
Yeah, go on.
You're absolutely right. In fact, it's raw apple cider vinegar contains tiny non-parasitic worms called vinegar eels. They're actually tiny nematodes, which grow to a maximum of 2 millimetres long, and they're harmless. Commercially produced vinegars are usually filtered to remove them, but they're harmless.
The U.S. Food and Drug Administration considers 30 fly eggs quite acceptable in 100 grams of tomato paste as long as it's sold with a spider, a bird, a cat, a dog, a cow, and a horse. Of course.
Angela.
Do the FDA find that number of eggs in a tomato paste acceptable?
They do find that number. Well done, yes.
Oh, the audience don't want to applaud because they're vomiting at the same time.
According to the Public Health Service of the Food and Drug Administration in America, a 100-gram sample of tomato paste can legally contain an average of 30 fly eggs, or 15 or more fly eggs and 1 or more maggots, or 2 or more maggots in a minimum of 12 subsamples. So, I mean, nothing could be perfect, can it? You know.
You'll eat anything, won't you, David?
Yeah. I won't eat. I don't like oysters.
But you'll eat the hair off the floor of the barbers.
if it's been nicely prepared. Yeah.
The French condiment sea urchin gonad sauce is made with mayonnaise, olive oil, and mashed fish testicles. Don't even try to dissuade me. That's now the only way I eat fish testicles. We all know that liking pineapple on pizza will get you banned from dating apps, but mentioning guacamole on your dating profile gets you 144% more responses. Mentioning mayonnaise will get you 256% more responses, and mentioning gravy wins the entire app.
Angela.
I can't believe I'm going to say this, but does mentioning guacamole get you more responses?
You're absolutely right. A 2017 study by the online dating site Zoosk discovered that mentioning guacamole resulted in a 144% increase in messages received.
Has it got any figures on how it affects how many likes you get if you mention that you like eating soy sauce made out of human hair?
And that's the end of Ria's lecture. And at the end of that round, Ria, you have also smuggled one truth past the rest of the panel, which is that the French condiment sea urchin gonad sauce is made with mayonnaise, olive oil, and mashed fish testicles. Sea urchin meat is comprised entirely of gonads. In fact, 2/3 of the average urchin is made up of testes and ovaries. So it's not like they've picked out it's different, isn't it? If you're mainly gonad, it's not the same. For a human, a gonad is quite a small part, so it feels perverse to go for it. But if a sea urchin, you have to actively avoid the gonad. So there's nothing weird here. And that, Ria, means you've scored 1 point.
You don't want the gonad, just eat round it.
It's now the turn of Alan Davis. Your subject, Alan, is toys, objects typically played with by infants or children, which are often miniature representations of familiar things. Off you go, Alan.
In 2005, when America's National Toy Hall of Fame updated its illustrious list, it rejected as toys the cardboard box, the blanket, and bubbles. However, the updated list of playthings does now include mud, food, and genitalia.
Angela.
Did they take away bubbles? Did they say bubbles weren't toys?
No, they didn't. No. The cardboard box, the blanket, and bubbles are all included in America's National Toy Hall of Fame. I mean, I suppose they've just tried to list everything that's played with. And that
genitalia.
Yeah, that might be accurate, but at the same time, is that right for the vibe? I expect my sense is that the American National Toy Hall of Fame might have teamed up with various toy manufacturers, which wouldn't be that keen on, penises and vaginas being mentioned all the time, alongside Lego and Mr. Potato Head.
So it's just that the rest of this show's been very gonad heavy. Yeah.
Disaster struck Pixar Studios during the making of Toy Story 2 when halfway through production the entire work was accidentally deleted. The culprit was never discovered, though police did find traces of plasticine on the delete key.
Ria.
Yeah, I can believe someone deleted that drive. We've all done that. We didn't save it. You go home and you didn't click save and then you were working on Windows and then...
Yeah, and in this case, they didn't click save on Toy Story 2. It's absolutely right. During the production of Toy Story 2, this was back in the late 90s, an animator cleaning up some files one day accidentally deleted most of the team's 2 years of work on the film.
Oh, imagine having to make that phone call.
They were saved by the fact that a female producer on the film, Galin Sussman, was working from home after having a baby and had taken a backup of the movie home with her, saving Pixar owners Disney millions of dollars. In May 2023, Sussman and 75 other Pixar employees were made redundant abandoned by Disney in a cost-cutting drive.
It was the writer Geoffrey Chaucer, noticing his pet cat toying with a mouse, which gave him the idea of providing toys to entertain his own 7 children. His idea caught on, and generations of children grew up happily playing with half-dead mice until proper toys were invented by Arnold Hamley in 1523.
Rhea.
Did Chaucer give his kids toys?
No. He didn't provide them with dead mice to play with because he noticed that a cat liked them. So,
Have you read his work?
no, it's all in gobbledygook, isn't it?
Waitrose have a motto: a happy animal is a tasty animal. In fact, farmers in the UK are required by law to provide their pigs with toys, the hot favourite being My Little Porker.
Angela.
Do pigs have to be provided with toys by law?
They do.
Yeah. They're very clever pigs, aren't they? Cleverer than dogs.
Angela, do you know everything? Yes, since 2003, it has been a legal requirement in the UK and Europe for pigs to have toys in their styes in order to promote mental stimulation, physical activity, and overall well-being.
Engineer Jack Ryan, who designed the Sparrow and the Hawk missile systems, went on to patent his design for the Barbie doll. The first version of Barbie wore a pink cocktail dress and had a range of 15,000 miles, carrying a 5-megaton nuclear payload.
Mark.
The guy who did the missile then went on to make the Barbie doll.
You're absolutely right, yes. After graduating from Yale, Jack Ryan worked for the US aerospace company Raytheon, developing the Sparrow and Hawk missile systems before joining Mattel as a designer, where he was responsible for the Barbie doll, Hot Wheels, and Chatty Cathy. In 1956, when Mattel co-owner Ruth Handler returned from a European holiday with a German-designed built Lily doll, she and Ryan worked on producing a similar doll for the American market. The two later disputed which of them was chiefly responsible both for the doll's name and design. Handler said Barbie was named after her daughter. Ryan claimed she was named after his wife. Ryan and the Lily doll's manufacturers both sued Mattel, who settled both cases out of court.
It makes the whole Barbie Oppenheimer thing make sense, doesn't it?
That's exactly.
Poop Patrol Barbie had a pet Labrador. After feeding the dog, you'd crank his tail until the food fell out of his bum. You could pair Poop Patrol Barbie with Poop Patrol Ken, who had a spring-loaded arm that let him throw the bag of dog poop up into the branches of the nearest tree.
Angela.
I think there's a Poop Patrol Barbie.
There is! Yes.
In 1950s America, the Atomic Energy Lab Kit was more than just a toy. It was actually radioactive, with real samples of uranium and radium for children to play with and even do experiments. After the Atomic Lab was banned, their TV commercial showing children glowing brightly on their way to school was picked up and used by Ready Brek. In 1893, German farmer Ernst Kinder fed his chickens on past their sell-by-date cornflakes, not realising that each packet contained a small plastic toy as a gift. When his chickens began laying eggs with little plastic toys inside them, Kinder had a brainwave which he turned into $1 million business.
Thank you, Alan. And at the end of that round, Alan, you've also smuggled one truth past the rest of the panel, which was that in 1950s America, the Atomic Energy Lab Kit was more than just a toy. It was actually radioactive, with real samples of uranium and radium for children to play with and even do experiments. The $49.50 set came with samples of 4 uranium-bearing ores, as well as a Geiger radiation counter and various other tools. In 2006, Radar magazine dubbed the Atomic Energy Lab one of the 10 most dangerous toys of all time.
Yeah, but David, if you gave one to your son at Christmas, his face would really light up.
And that means that, Alan, you've scored 1 point. In the 16th century, in the Philippines, the yo-yo was used by hunters as a weapon. It was perfect for hunting an animal that sat completely still, directly below the yo-yo, waiting to be killed on the 6th or 7th attempt. Which brings us to the final scores. In 4th place, with -2 points, it's Alan Davis. In third place with -1 point, it's Mark Steele. In second place with 3 points, it's Angela Barnes. And in first place with an unassailable 4 points, it's this week's winner, Rialina. That's about it for this week. Goodbye.